Hello everyone, Danny here once again. I'm back. I apologize for the long absence. At the end of this video I will explain everything that's been going on, but I'm back. And today I want to talk to you about a book that really disappointed me, but I think it disappointed me because of the expectations I brought going into the book. I think that the publishers oversold the book and gave me expectations that the book didn't meet. I think if I'd have gone in without those expectations, I would have really enjoyed the book. And the book I'm talking about, I'm not going to do any preamble or anything like that. The book I'm talking about is Death Notice, a novel. And it's by an author whose name I will not attempt to pronounce. And that is because the author is Chinese and has a Chinese name which will not sound proper coming out of my mouth. I don't know how to pronounce it. So apologize, author. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce your name. The expectations I had going into the book, the publisher's summary and the information provided compared it to like a Michael Connelly style murder thriller book, but written by a Chinese author for a Chinese audience, translated into the English. So my expectations were that I was going to get this Michael Connelly style murder mystery that is going to give me a deep glimpse into Chinese culture. It's going to be along a style and a genre that I thoroughly enjoy, with the added bonus of that Chinese culture thrown in there. Learning something. I've never been to China. I only know what I know about China from reading and from TV and from everything else. And here was a chance to have a Chinese author, so someone who lives and wrote for a Chinese audience, give me a glimpse into that culture. That was what I was most excited about. The story is about a young man who's a police detective. He gets called to the big city. He works out in the country. He gets called to the big city because he received a cryptic message from Numedes. See, I can't even pronounce that one. Anyhow, he receives this cryptic message from this Greek philosopher that the game is on. And so he heads into the city to meet a very well-known police officer there, only to discover the police officer's corpse. And what transpires is this Numedes has decided that his job, Numedes' job, is to kill all the criminals who've gotten away with the law. And so he's going after people who've, they've committed murder and gotten away with it. They're drug dealers that have got whatever. But the cop wasn't a bad cop. I mean, there's a period of time where you're wondering, well, what did this cop do wrong? Because you're introduced to several corrupt police officers and several officers who, actually, they weren't corrupt. That's not right. None of the officers were corrupt. What they did was they had something in their past that they'd hidden that was a crime. And after that point in time, they'd actually been good at their job and been good police officers. There were a couple of corrupt ones in there as well. And so Numedes is out to be like this vigilante justice. That excited me too. And then what Numedes does is he posts on the internet and people recommend who he needs to kill because of their crimes. And so that the plot sounded amazing, that the chance to see Chinese history sounded amazing. It was just like, this is going to be a book I'm going to be able to sink my teeth into. Two things. One, narrator. The narrator did a good job. They picked a narrator with no kind of a Chinese accent whatsoever. And honestly, I think that was a mistake, because if it had had an author with a Chinese accent, it would have added to that Asian flair that I was looking for from the book. It would have made me feel more like, hey, I'm in China and this story is being told to me by a Chinese citizen who speaks English, instead of a Westerner who has no accent. He did great, as best as I could tell, with all of the names, because of course all of the names are Chinese for the provinces and everything else are all Chinese. Best as I could tell, not speaking the language, he pronounced them all properly. And he's a good narrator. The only knock I had was I actually wish he would have had a Chinese accent. It would have had it. The book ended up feeling like a Western novel with Chinese names. I mean, really, there were some cultural differences. I don't want to make it sound like there weren't any cultural differences. There were some cultural differences, but they weren't large, major differences, and you really almost had to be looking for them to pick them out to go, okay, now that's different. That's not how people would react to police officers in America. That's not how police officers would act in America. That's not how we would do things here. And, you know, that's a difference between here and there. You almost had to look for those. They didn't really jump out, so you didn't get that feeling. At least I didn't get that feeling of being immersed in Chinese culture, which is what I was looking for. I wanted a deep dive into Chinese culture. This is a book written by a Chinese author for a Chinese audience. It should feel authentically Chinese, and in that Western narration, I think that was a mistake on Audible's part. I wish they'd have done that differently. I'm not Audible, so, you know, as far as comparing it to Michael Connelly, oh, please, not even close. You have multiple mysteries going on. I mean, there's threads going all over the place. The vast majority of them you figure out before they come to conclusion. There was no big suspenseful, edge of your seat, glued to the book, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next moment. With this book, you do get those moments with Michael Connelly's books. You definitely get those moments where you're driving down the road going, ooh, oh, I need to pay attention to traffic, not to the book, kind of a thing. There wasn't anything. This was a book that I could easily, at any point in the book, put down, turn around, and walk away from. At the same time, it was a book that I would have a desire to come back to. I did finish the book. I'd walk away. A little bit later, I'd start thinking, and I'd be like, okay, now I'll go back and I'll listen to the book, kind of a thing. I never got bored with it. It never reached the point where I was like, okay, now I'm bored with the book. I need to turn the book off. It wasn't anything like that, but it definitely didn't come close to comparing to Michael Connelly. Like I said, you've got all kinds of mysteries and threads going on. I actually think that detracted from the book. There were too many mysteries going on instead of one big mystery. Everything seemed like it was a mystery. And like I said, you figure them all out. I knew who the bad guy was before the bad guy was revealed. There were some surprises, but they were on the lines of how the bad guy took himself out. Didn't see that one coming. Okay, still not a major jump out of your seat, exciting kind of a moment. The book was okay. It's one of those books to where it did have the added Asian flavor to it, but rather than feeling like you went to China, it felt like you went to Chinatown in San Francisco. Like that, you know. So if that's more of what you're looking for, a good book that I enjoyed the writing. I liked the characters. It's a trilogy. I'm not going to finish the trilogy. It was not so good that it really drew me in and made me want to absolutely finish the trilogy. So I'm not going to end up finishing the trilogy, which is kind of where I'm at. I finished the book, not going to finish the trilogy, and there's no desire in me to go back to finish that trilogy. So a little bit about what's been going on with me. As you can see, my apartment is like half set up. I apologize for the long delay between my videos. I got a promotion. I'm no longer driving truck. I am now with the Central Dispatch Department. We had to sell our house that we've lived in for the last 20 years, raised 3 boys in. And then we had to move up here, find a place. My wife's still going to college, so she's still living down there. and I'm up here trying to get everything set up without her until she can graduate college, come up and join me. And it's just been very hectic learning a new job, a new position. Today I woke up and I was like, the office, it's not finished. I mean, if you look behind me here, you see all blank walls because I haven't put anything up on the walls yet. That'll end up happening. But it's done enough that I have a place where I can go record videos now, because I'm no longer in the cab of my truck, so I'm not going to be recording videos from the cab of my truck. I'm no longer driving. That's not my job anymore. I'm going to keep the name of my channel the same. I'm going to keep all that same. I'm no longer going to be doing 2 videos a week. I don't get to listen to enough books. When you're a truck driver and you listen to audiobooks, you go through anywhere, depending upon the length of the book, between 3 to 7 books per week. That allowed me to do 2 videos per week. That allowed me to pick and choose and go, okay, out of all the books I listened to this week, these are the 2 I want to talk about. It's no longer going to be the case. I do have time with my job now where I'm sitting and I can listen to an audiobook. I listen to them around the house here as I'm cleaning and doing things. So I've kind of got an idea of what my pace on books is going to be now. I'm going to do 1 video per week. I'm going to release them every Friday morning. There's not really going to be a pattern like before. There was a pattern to whether it was fiction or nonfiction. On Monday, and I don't remember what it was, but I think on Monday it was nonfiction. On Thursday it was fiction. It's not going to be like that anymore. It could be whatever the latest book I finished is. I'm not going to be able to pick and choose and go, this is the book I was excited about. This is the book I want to talk about. It's going to be the latest book that I've listened to. So it may be like this review to where it's less of I'm excited about this book and more about, the book was okay kind of a review. So there will be some changes in that sense. I hope, though, that you will stick with me and continue on this journey. And that may end up changing as I learn the job and get more into the job and get a better feel for my time, what my schedule around here is going to be and all that. I mean, everything's still up in flux right now. But for those of you who stuck with me, thank you for your patience. I deeply appreciate it. Thank you for sticking with me. I hope you enjoy this video. I hope that you're having a good life that I have not been a part of for the last month or so. I'm happy to be back. As I say at the end of all of my videos, if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you like my channel, please subscribe. But most importantly, no matter what else you do today, make sure that today you listen to at least 1 really good book. And I do recommend Death Notice, a novel written by a Chinese author whose name I will not attempt to pronounce. If you're looking for one of those books that's enjoyable, but at the same time is not so gripping that you can't go to bed at night because you've got to finish the book. You can't put it down and go finish a project. You can put it down, go finish a project, come back, and it's going to have that Asian flavor to it, that Chinese flavor to it. Not, like I said, like you've gone to China itself, but more like you've gone to an American Chinatown in like San Francisco. Thank you.